The queen ant, the heart of the colony. In the amazing world of ants, the queen is the boss. She is the most important ant in the whole colony. Her job is super important to keep the colony alive and growing. The queen lays thousands of eggs during her life, making sure the colony continues. She's like the mom of all the ants because she lays the eggs that turn into new little ants. Without her hard work, the colony couldn't survive. Without a queen, the colony would disappear. Worker ants can't lay eggs. So, without the queen, there would be no new ants to replace the ones that die. Queens are bigger than worker ants and have wings for a while. These wings let them fly and find a good place to start a new colony. These wings are for flying during the nuptial flight. That's a really important event where they meet male ants and mate. After mating, the queen loses her wings and spends the rest of her life laying eggs. The queen's life is all about working hard and taking care of her colony. From the moment she loses her wings, her only job is to make sure her colony survives and grows. The worker ants take care of the queen. They feed her and protect her, making sure she's healthy enough to keep laying eggs. And the queen makes sure there are always new baby ants to keep the colony strong and busy. Claustral queens, a solitary beginning. Claustral queens are a fascinating example of independence and determination in the ant world. These queens are known for being super independent when they start a new colony. Unlike other types of ants, they don't need worker ants to help them become queens. After the nuptial flight, a super important event in their lives, the queen lands in a safe place. She takes off her wings, showing that she's starting a new chapter. Then she starts looking for the perfect spot to begin her colony. Once she finds the ideal place, she closes the entrance to protect herself from predators and stays inside a small underground chamber. This space will be her home and her fortress. Inside this chamber, the queen uses the energy stored in her body to lay eggs. These eggs will become her first worker ant daughters. She takes good care of them, making sure they grow strong and healthy. Over time, these worker ants will help expand the colony, marking the beginning of a new ant society. Semi-claustral queens, a collaborative approach. Semi-claustral queens are different from claustral queens because they don't stay locked up when they start their colony. These queens go out and look for food to have more energy to take care of their babies. This is riskier because they could get attacked, but it also means more food. It's all about finding the balance. Parasitism in the ant kingdom. Parasitism is a really interesting way to survive that also exists in the ant world. Parasitic ants take advantage of other ants by stealing their food and making them work for them. Parasitic queens are experts at tricking other colonies into letting them in and live there. In the different parts of Canada where ants live, there are several types of parasitic queens. These queens are not like the others. They have developed unique skills to sneak into other colonies. These queens have learned to copy the smells of other species, tricking the worker ants into thinking they are their queen. This copycatting is so good that the worker ants can't tell the difference when the parasitic queen enters the colony. Sometimes she kills the real queen and starts laying her own eggs. This is cruel, but it works, making sure her babies survive. The worker ants, without knowing, take care of the parasitic queen's babies as if they were their own. They feed and protect the larvae, working hard for the new generation. This cycle of trickery and survival shows how smart and adaptable these parasitic queens are. In the ant world, the struggle for power and survival is always happening and always fascinating. In Canada, there are tons of ant species, including those with claustral and semiclaustral queens. Carpenter ants from the Camponotus group are an example of ants with claustral queens in Canada. These ants like to make their colonies in old or rotten wood. On the other hand, Stigmatoma palipes and Ponera pennsylvanica ants have semi-claustral queens. These ants build their nests under rocks, fallen logs, or rotten wood, and are considered cryptic ants, meaning they spend all their time underground hunting. Their mandibles, which have changed a lot over time, seem to be made for hunting springtails. They are excellent predators of springtails and beetle larvae in the forest floor litter. Parasitism in ants isn't just about parasitic queens. Some ants practice doulosis, which means stealing babies from other colonies to make them work for them. Slave-making ants, like the Polyergus bicolor, are famous for attacking their neighbors to steal their worker, ants, larvae, pupae, and eggs. These examples show us the huge variety of strategies that ants use to survive. To understand how amazing ecosystems are, it's important to learn about the diversity of ants, from their queens to their survival strategies. Ants are really important for nature because they help break down dead plants and animals and spread seeds around. Even though we don't always see them, their work is super important to keep the balance of life on Earth. We are always discovering new things about ants and realizing how important it is to protect them. The destruction of their homes and climate change are dangerous for many species. By taking care of the diversity of ants, we are not only protecting a fascinating part of nature, but we are also taking care of the health of our ecosystems for the future